If you're a new player, you've definitely clicked on the right video. Today we're showing how you can prepare for a naval game as Indonesia. We're taking our time and going through our decisions step by step. You'll have an easier time learning the concepts, and with any luck, you'll be able to apply them to your own games sooner than you'd think. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with the channel. Alright, so Indonesia has some really interesting abilities that allow them to have a kind of unique way to play naval games, and we're going to get into them right now. So, their first ability here, Exalted Goddess of the Three Worlds. Naval units can be purchased with faith. Religious units pay no movement to embark or disembark, and they also get +2 faith to city centers that are adjacent to coast or lake tiles. We're going to be working towards a naval domination game with them, and we are going to try and get a religion, but realistically it doesn't really matter if we do get it or not. The reason being that they have that extra faith production, and we're going to use that to build up our navy, so we can still get extra faith from holy sites regardless of whether we secure a religion or not. Now, the other part of that ability where you get +2 faith from city centers that are adjacent to a lake or coast tile, that's a great little improvement because Indonesia has a start bias where they settle near lakes and coastlines, so you're pretty much guaranteed to get your pick of the litter when it comes to Pantheons, which is a really powerful ability that kind of lets you steer yourself whichever way you want to take the game as Indonesia. So moving on, we're gonna look at the next ability, and I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that one. So with that being said, coast and lake tiles provide a minor adjacency bonus for holy sites, campuses, industrial zones, and theater square districts. They also get +1 amenity from entertainment to each entertainment complex adjacent to a coast or lake tile. So again, this is a nice little bonus they have here. It's not game breaking by any means, but we'll discuss it a lot further once we jump into the game and I can actually show you exactly what the adjacency bonus is and how we're going to try and take advantage of it. And then last but not least, they have a unique naval unit called the Jong, not Dong, and the Kampong, which is a unique improvement your builders can do, which is really good, but we're probably not going to get up to it because it's quite far down the tech tree. But with that being said, let's shut up here and just jump into the game. Alright, so we definitely have a decent start here. I'm going to take a quick second and do some thinking, and then I'll cut back once I have a game plan figured out. Alright, so I think I have things figured out here. The first thing you want to do as a new player, and you're looking to decide where to settle your first city, is to turn the yield icons on. You can either come into your map options and turn it on here by clicking this, or you can just press Y on your keyboard and it does it. And what this does is it shows you exactly how much food and production and other resources that each tile is going to give you when you work it. So it's a good idea to keep that in mind when you're looking to settle a new space, because ultimately you want as much production and food and other values as you can get your hands on. So now with that being said here, we're also going to turn on our settler lens, which if you don't know, you can find it here in the lenses right there. Otherwise you can just go ahead and press 4 on your keyboard and it switches to that automatically. So what this does is it shows you your access to fresh water is the darker green tiles, and then access to salt water is the lighter green here, followed by nothing at all, which is the gray. And so obviously we want to settle as close as we can to fresh water whenever it's available, because it's going to help your city grow. I mean, if you're in a pinch, you can just settle a coastal tile and not have access to fresh water, and you can try to go about unlocking fresh water later on, whether it's building an aqueduct. If you do end up having to settle a city on just coastal water, that's fine too. A lot of times you can end up building yourself an aqueduct, which does give you access to fresh water and increases your housing capacity, so you're not just completely screwed if you don't have any fresh water, although most times I'd probably restart if I didn't have it to at least start in my capital. Alright, so now that we have those lenses on, we're taking a closer look here, and we have quite a few decent tiles actually, but we could settle here. What I want to do though is I'm actually going to move up and I'm going to settle on this tile here. Now, the reasoning behind this, I haven't explored the island at all yet, but we're on small continents, so I'm hoping that this is an island here, but we look to be on the southern end of it. So rather than stay here, if we stay here, we can't If we settle where we are, we're basically going to be hamstringing ourselves to this whole bottom side of the island because we won't be able to fit in a city over here. It has to be 4 tiles away from wherever you settle. So if we were to plop down here, we wouldn't be able to settle a city in any of these spots because it's too close. It's only 3 tiles away. So with that being said, we could just pop over and settle onto this hill here, which would be a decent idea as well, except for the fact that we'll be losing a tile that we can build a mine on, and it's a grassland hill too, so when we do put a mine on it, it's going to have 2 food and 2 production, which is something that you want to keep in mind. So what we're going to do is just head over one more space here and settle on the grasslands. Okay, so it looks like we discovered a goodie hub up there. Let's send our barbarian on let's send our warrior on his way to go take a look and see what we get. And next turn we're going to plop down and settle our capital here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and settle here now on turn 2, which isn't so bad. If you're going to end up moving your capital, I'd suggest that at the very worst case scenario, you try and settle your capital city by turn 3 at the very latest. And I definitely think it's worthwhile moving your capital to find a better spot to settle it. The extra 1 or 2 turns, whatever it takes you to find your better... The extra 1 or 2 turns that it takes you to find that better location for your for your capital is gonna be well worth the wait, in my opinion. Alright, so we have our capital settled now. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start production here. Now, we are playing on the small continents map, so all my decisions here are based on the assumption that we're on an island, and hopefully we're not going to have another AI with us, but I mean, if we bump into one, and we'll adjust accordingly. But just so you know, we're planning to be by ourselves here, so that's really guiding a lot of the decisions that I'm going to be making throughout this video. So instead of building a scout like we normally would if we were playing on continents or Pangaea, whatever other types of maps you would normally do, we're going to go ahead and skip that. We're going to head straight towards a builder. Now, sometimes I do elect to go towards a monument first, but in this case, we do have a couple tiles here that we would like to get mine set up, not to mention there's a quarry over here that we'll be buying the tile for or expanding there naturally in the near future. So getting that builder up would be nice. Now, as far as our research goes, we've already talked about we want to get a religion and we're going to be going after one. However, we're not in a huge rush to do it because if we don't get one, we still have this extreme faith production as Indonesia. As you can see here, we're already getting 2 faith per turn just from having our city settled next to the coast here. So what we're going to do, although we are going to head to astrology pretty quickly, we're going to pick up mining on our way there first and then go ahead and grab astrology next. Okay, so, well, you can't always get what you want, but our goodie hut there gave us a scout here. So in the meantime, we might as well take advantage of it since we have it now and see what our little island has to offer us. We're just going to keep headed in the other direction with our warrior. I'm going to kind of follow the western coastline here with the warrior, and then I'm going to circle around with the scout and see what we can see following the eastern shore, it looks like here. Right, so far, nothing too crazy going on over here. Now, we are going to be getting mining in 5 turns, and it looks like it's going to line up pretty well with our builder. Although the builder might go down even further once we get that population boost in a couple turns. But either way, looks like it's going to work out pretty closely there. Alright, so let's move into the tougher terrain here. Okay, so it's looking like, unless the island comes up further this way, that we are on quite a small island here. So if that is in case the fact, like once we explore it, and if we find out we're alone and we're on a small island, I'm going to completely change my game plan here. I know I said I was planning on being on my own, but now that it's confirmed, basically, I'm going to plan to get a Dark Age in the Classical Age. In fact, I'm going to purposely do things to ensure that we get a Dark Age for the Classical Age, because then I'm positive that I'll be able to get all the era score we need in order to propel us into a historic age for the medieval era. Because again, if it is bigger and we do have company on our island, we sure as shit aren't going to be going for that plan. So we'll find out in a minute or two here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just skip the turn with the scout. Alright, so we did get our population boost there, and it shaved a turn off of our builder, which is nice. Looks like we do have quite a bit of rough terrain here. Just gonna pop over. Okay, so there's another small island over here, but can't really get to it anyway, so that's not helping us much. Okay, so we have some barbarians with us here, which is nice. That is definitely some era score. Now, as I mentioned, if we are landlocked here by ourselves on this island, I'm actually going to not kill this barbarian camp. I'm actually going to sort of farm the barbarian camp, and I'm going to allow them to spawn units so that we can trigger the Eureka for bronze working by killing 3 different barbarians. Because if we just end up killing the scout and then the spearman who is naturally in the encampment, then we won't get that bonus, because you need to kill 3 of them in order to unlock it. And considering it looks like we are on such a small island, that we'll be covering this island so fast in the very near future that I doubt more barbarians are going to spawn. So again, we're just going to keep looking here. Okay, and so there is the camp. Our warrior's going to head this way in case they do decide to spawn units. They might take a swap at us with their spearmen, but we should be able to run away, I think, without too much difficulty. Now, in case you don't know, they actually won't attack us with their scout and take our builder, so I have no problem whatsoever heading around to improve tiles. So we're going to go ahead and start by building a mine here on the grassland hills that we talked about at the beginning of the video. Now that we have done the builder, I'm going to go ahead and start work on a settler right away. We want to get our new cities up as soon as possible. Not to mention, we are going to be switching into astrology in order, or so, yeah, I said it right. I thought I screwed that up. We're going to be switching into astrology pretty quickly here, and then all of our production is going to be focused on getting a holy site up as quickly as possible. So it's definitely a good idea for us to do everything we can to pump out a settler before that, so we can get our second city growing as quickly as we can. Now, having just said that, we're going to, once we finish discovering our little island here, if there isn't any land connection over here, we're basically going to stop and take a minute, and we want to plan out the ideal locations for our cities so that we can basically fit as many cities as we possibly can into our land mass here, and take advantage of the limited amount of territory that we do have. Okay, so we'll see now, I guess, whether they do take a shot at us, but it looks like we lucked out and the spearmen didn't come out of their encampment for once, so we'll take advantage of that and get the hell out of Dodge while we can. In the meantime, we finished that, so we're headed straight into astrology, which is just what we want. Now, we're still getting our 2 faith per turn from our bonus as the Indonesian, so it looks like we will be getting our Pantheon in the next couple of turns, I would imagine. Now, one thing too here, as I mentioned, as long as we are on the island by ourselves here, which, yeah, basically it looks like we are. As I said, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make sure we go into a Dark Age. And so part of that is saving era score. For instance, if we build 3 mines, that's a tech boost to apprenticeship, I believe, off the top of my head. So I only want to build 2 mines before the classical era, because once we hit that classical era, we're going to choose the dedication that gives us +1 era score for every tech boost we get. So we have to keep little things like that in mind to help make sure that we're going to be able to So we need to keep little things like that in mind in order to make sure we're going to be able to propel ourselves into a historic age. Otherwise, we should basically be doing everything we possibly can in order to get a normal age here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and drop that mine. So mental note that I can only build one more mine, otherwise it's going to trigger that Eureka. Okay, so we do know for a fact that we are on this island here. Now, with that in mind, we're going to head towards the barbarians with our warrior. However, we are going to sit in a convenient location. We're going to take up a spot on the hills here in order to have a solid defense for whenever they do spawn units against us. And we're just going to kind of mindlessly chase their scout around with our scout in the meantime. Next turn, if he doesn't move, we'll take a shot at him. But in the meantime, now that we've gone ahead and improved the mine, while I could head straight for this tile and build another mine, I'm actually not going to do that. And the reason behind this is because as long as we get access to the correct Pantheon, I think what I'm going to do is take the Pantheon that gives you bonus faith. It's like Desert Folklore or Dance of the Aurora, where you get extra faith for tundra or desert tiles that are adjacent to your holy site, except for it works with rainforests. So considering we usually get the first Pantheon or the second Pantheon at the worst case scenario, I'm going to go ahead and wait for that one. Another Pantheon that I would be keeping in mind here as Indonesia is the one that gives you extra faith for breathtaking appeal. However, we have so much rainforest on this island that our appeal is going to be absolutely disgusting. So you can see on the lens here that the rainforest just basically screws up everything, even though we have extra appeal because of all the coastlines. And in case you don't know, you can just press 3 on your keyboard in order to get that lens up if you don't want to click it manually. Alright, so as we said, we're going to head over to the hill here and take up a good defensive location. They didn't move their scout, so we're going to go ahead and take a shot at them. Now, our builder is just going to hang out and wait for now, because we don't really have much of anything to do. I normally would send them out to explore, but we don't even have sailing yet, so we can't embark with them yet. Okay, so we did get our Pantheon here. Let's take a look and see which ones we do have available. Okay, so this is the one I was talking about. I couldn't remember the name of it, but it's called Sacred Path. So Holy Site districts get +1 faith from adjacent rainforest tiles. So that is great there. We could take God of the Sea. However, just from looking around at our locations here, I don't think there's that many tiles where it's going to be really effective, especially considering that the boost in production is nice, don't get me wrong. However, because of our special ability as Indonesia here, if you remember, we end up getting to buy naval units with faith. So we want to increase that faith production as much as we can, because it's going to help us conquer the world essentially on the island map. Not to mention our unique unit here, the Jong, again, not Dong, is a great medieval Nair unit that replaces the frigate, and formation units all inherit escort's movement speed and +5 combat strength when in formation. So it's a great naval unit for escorting your battle formations. Like, you can bring your troops over and they get the movement speed that your frigates do, which can be a lot, especially if you start out early and get yourself quadremes going and then get them battle promotions by attacking barbarians and shit that you find throughout the map. It's definitely something that I would suggest you do if you're playing this style on your own. So with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and we are going to go and take our Sacred Path here. So we get an extra +2 air score because we are the first ones to settle a Pantheon, we're the first ones to pick a Pantheon. So because of our bonus there, we are going to go ahead and settle this one here as our holy site. So we'll get a +3 it'll be a +3 holy site because it'll have the minor adjacency bonus from being next to the coast tile, and couple that with having it beside the city itself, and then would give it +1 adjacency bonus, and then it also has the 2 extra ones from being next to 2 jungle tiles. So when we actually get this holy site online, it's going to give us +3 era score because it'll be our first holy site with a 3 adjacency bonus. So now we're going to build it, but we're going to stop it from producing in this era, and we're going to hold that until the classical era in order to make sure it actually becomes useful in helping us get that historic age that we're looking to get. So we're just going to go ahead and tell our warrior to fortify here and wait. We'll let our scout heal up another turn here. Now we've got Code of Laws, so we're going to go ahead and obviously slotting in Discipline is worthwhile. We don't have anything left to scout, so there's no point taking the survey here, and we don't have any reason to take God King, which is why I love Indonesia so much. We can go straight to urban planning and take advantage of the +1 production in all cities. Okay, so now that we got that done and out of the way, let's take a look at our civics here and figure out which way we want to go. Alright, and so clearly it doesn't look like we're going to be able to discover a second continent here because we've already explored our little island and haven't found one. We do have a chance of finding a second continent, though, if we end up getting the sailing technology and get a builder out to explore for us. So with that in mind, we're going to start working on craftsmanship first because we're a lot more likely to get the boost for by improving the 3 tiles there, and that will give us some extra time as well in order to eventually get the sailing technology and get a builder to get out onto the water for us and explore. So we're going to have our settler here in 2 turns, which will be nice. Now our scout has healed up again. Let's take another shot at their scout. Looks like he's finally licking his wounds and heading off on his own. Now, as far as what we're going to do with our builder here, because we do want to unlock that craftsmanship bonus, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and just randomly purchase this tile here so that we can build a mine on it, which will be a second tile for us to improve. And now that we have that figured out, let's go ahead and send the builder on his way over there. However, since we are getting that online, I'm going to take a quick look here around the island and figure out kind of the best plan that I can come up with in order to fit as many cities as possible on our little island, and then also in a perfect world be able to find them all good holy sites that give good adjacency bonuses as well. Alright, so I've done quite a bit of planning here, and I think I have a pretty good idea as to exactly what we're going to go ahead and aim to do here. Now, I'm assuming you know this already, but you can add pins however you want to here. As you can see, we've done that. So now I have a location picked here to settle a city with a holy site here. Now with the Pantheon we just picked, it would be a +4 holy site, which would be really great, don't get me wrong. However, the city wouldn't have any really good production very on, so it's not going to really flourish. So while that is going to be a nice city, it will require a bit of work, like builders and etc., to help it get it up off the ground, which is something that we can't really afford to spare at this point. So while it's a good city, it's not going to be our first city that we settle, or I guess second technically. The other locations is another one up here, but again, it's kind of a very similar thing. Not a lot of production, so that's why we're not going to choose to settle it next. The 2 real choices, as far as I'm concerned, are over here or here. Now, this one definitely has some nice tiles with the bananas there and the food. However, we're not going to be able to get them unlocked because we won't be headed towards irrigation right away. So with that being said, it also doesn't have a location for a great holy site in this spot because of the fact that we can't end up chopping any of the rainforests yet because we don't have the technology. We do have the mining technology, which allows us to get forests out of the way, but not but not rainforest, because we need to actually get bronze working before we can remove those features. So with that in mind, this is actually going to be the spot of our second city. It's nice and close here. It's going to have access to this 2-2 tile right away. The tobacco there, once we eventually do get irrigation up online, which isn't that big of a deal for the moment, but it will have these 2 stone tiles as well, because I'll switch the ownership of this tile over to that city in order to allow them to use it. Now again, we're actually not going to improve these 2 stone tiles right away until we get into the classical age, because building a quarry is another tech boost to masonry, I believe. Yeah, masonry over here. So we are definitely going to wait on that to get the era score next turn, or sorry, next in the next age, when we're going to be using it to help us get towards that heroic age. All right, so we'll just go ahead and actually move across the river and sit on the stone tile here, and we'll heal up, because you heal faster when in your own territory. We're going to go ahead and send our settler on his merry way. And again, I'm not worried about the barbarians, because their scouts won't attack you, whether it's your builders or your settlers. They don't engage unless they're unless the barbarian camp that they were spawned from has been wiped out, and in that case they go batshit crazy and will attack anything, so be very careful. However, in this case, we know for a fact that the camp is still alive and well and isn't going to be crushed anytime soon, so that's why I'm feeling completely comfortable to send my settler out unescorted. Alright, so with that being said, we have the settler produced. We still have 6 turns to wait for astrology to complete. So in the meantime, we definitely want to take advantage of this as quickly as we can. So I'm going to go ahead and start work on a builder. We'll still have to wait 1 turn before it finishes, but that is fine as far as I'm concerned. Once we do hit that other age, we're going to be wanting to improve these tiles as quickly as we can. Now, you might have noticed that I also tagged a harbor here. I don't always build harbors when I'm playing naval maps. I don't always build them in every city, I should specify. But this particular harbor is actually going to have a +4 adjacency bonus, because we're going to have the holy site up here first. So then this harbor is going to get the adjacency bonus for being next to the fish, but then also next to the districts here. So we are going to go ahead and take advantage of that, because getting a +4 adjacency bonus harbor will also unlock 3 more era score for us. So we'll definitely be doing that next. So with that in mind, we're going to have to use our second city over here in order to build the government plaza, because this is going to tie up our capital until we're population 7, which will be too long. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and build this mine here with our builder. Again, now I need to remember, and I'm usually pretty bad at this, is not to use this builder to build any more mines, as it's going to trigger that improvement. So in the meantime, until we end up getting sailing, we are just going to get him to actually not go to the city, just to head over to this mine here, and we'll make him sleep until we unlock the sailing technology. So we also we're having to hard research astrology, which we can't avoid, unfortunately, because we haven't found a natural wonder and we've explored our entire island. However, we do want to pay attention to craftsmanship, because we don't want to waste our culture. We only want to research it to the point where getting the tech boost is going to unlock it for us, and so we'll start sinking our culture into something else once we get closer to that. I'm notorious. I know this is a game concept, but I'm fucking really bad at paying attention to it. So I'm gonna do my best to not screw that up in this game. With our scout here, we're gonna head over here and see if we can pop their barbarian scout for another shot next turn. Okay, so they've gone ahead and spawned some warriors here, which is great for us because it'll be free combat experience. In the meantime, we've managed to get here with our settler, so we're going to go ahead and drop our city. Now, as far as what we're actually going to build, we're just going to go ahead and start work on a monument. I think it's important to get your culture up early because the faster you can get to state workforce and early empire, the faster you can get a good governor online and promote them, as well as getting to political philosophy, which is very important to get that next tier government and give yourself a nice boost there. Okay, so in the meantime, this douchebag spawned here. That's not really a big deal for us. We're going to sit here and we'll move our scout closer to entice him to attack. That's fine. It's just free experience for our scout. We do have that +5 combat bonus in from discipline. So we'll let him take a shot, and then we'll just head into our city and heal up. Next turn, they should go after our warrior. And now our builder here is just going to go to sleep. Again, we're good. Just fortify until healed over there, and we'll let them kill themselves on us. We finally finished astrology, which is great. So now we still do have 1 turn left on this builder, and we're gonna actually finish that. But what we are gonna do first, though, is we're gonna place our holy site district down. As you can see, we do have that +3 adjacency bonus I mentioned earlier. So we're gonna go ahead and put it down. And what this does, so what that actually does is it locks the production cost of that district in place. If you take a look at it here, it is going to take us 63 production in order to finish that holy site. However, the more technologies and the more civics you unlock, and the further you go in the ages of the game as well, it makes districts production cost increase. It goes up higher and higher. So by placing it down, we've guaranteed that that production cost won't ever go up. Whenever we do get around to building this holy site, it's still going to only cost the same 63 production. So now that we place it down, though, we are going to go ahead and finish our builder before starting to work on that. And we finished astrology, so we're going to go straight into sailing so that we can get our builder out here to improve the fish tile, as well as just explore, and with any luck, get us the boost towards find a second continent and get us the boost towards foreign trading, or foreign trade, I should say, I guess. All right, so again, our barbarian's cool here. We're just going to fortify them and let them heal up again. Our scout has finished healing. We're going to send him on his way to go track down that barbarian scout and take some more shots at them. Now that we have finished the builder here in the capital, we are going to start work on that holy site. And now what we're going to do is take this builder and we're going to actually head over to this tile here. We're going to, first things first, we're going to purchase this tile here, and this one as well, where we're going to be building their holy site. And now that we own them, next turn we're going to go ahead and chop that. Actually, I'm having second thoughts, because if you take a look at it, we're still a good ways away from getting a governor and getting Magnus. Actually, no, yeah, never mind. Scratch that. I'm talking out of my ass here. I'm going to go ahead and chop them now, because we are so far away from unlocking Magnus in order to get the extra production from the chops. I'd rather get the districts locked in right now, or, well, the first one anyway, and get them working on it. Not to mention getting the boost towards the monument will be nice and free them up to start work on other things, like, say, getting their holy site up. So we're going to keep looking with our scout here, and we've tracked down their barbarian. We've tracked down the barbarian scout. Looks like we should be able to finish them off, unless they get out of our grasp, which they didn't, so I think we should be able to kill them here. Okay, so that's another barbarian, which means we're only one more barbarian away from getting our bonus to bronze working. So if we can, we're going to hopefully not kill them until the next age. We still do have a minimum of 11 turns until the next era, so that might not be possible because they might start spewing out barbarians from the camp here. And with that in mind, I'm going to get our scout to head back there as soon as we can, just so that we have another body for them to take pot shots at instead of just completely ganging up on our warrior. Alright, so we are here with our builder. We're going to go ahead and remove the tile now. Before we do that though, we are going to go and click on Manage Citizens and make sure that it does belong to this city, which it does, because I didn't want it accidentally boosting the holy site and finishing that before we wanted that done. So we'll go ahead and chop this here now. They're down to 3 more turns on their monument. We'll head over to this forest next. Somebody's built Stonehenge, so that's 1 religion gone. If we take a look here, clearly Stonehenge makes a great profit, gone for somebody, but as far as points go, there's an unmet player who's making, getting 2 points per turn already. They're up at 9. Now that could very well be that same, the same civilization who just built Stonehenge. There's no really way to tell that. And nobody else is starting work on a religion yet, so that means we're not too far behind. However, like I said, I'm not really too concerned about it. If we don't get a religion, we don't. It's just basically gravy at this point, because we're really after that increased faith production so that we can buy a navy and really put that to good use. So we're going to go ahead here and chop this forest now. That allows them to finish their monument, which will increase their culture and give us a little boost here. We're up to 2.4 now, which isn't much, but it's something. Now, as far as their holy site, we're going to go ahead and place that down here, and we're going to start working on it. But again, we're just like in the capital here, we are going to pay attention and not let them finish it, because we want to save that +3 era score for the following era. Now this builder has 1 more charge. However, we can't use him to build another mine, otherwise it's going to unlock that thing. So for now, he can just go to sleep where he's at until we have something for him to do. Only got another turn here. Well, sorry, 2 turns, I guess I should say, before... sorry, we'll take the movement on hill terrain here, just because we do have quite a few hills on the island. And then we're down to 1 turn on the holy site, so now we're going to switch out of that production. And we'll get them to start on a settler right away. I normally don't like to build a 3rd settler until you get the colonization. Oh, I just realized I totally forgot to switch out of craftsmanship. See, this is what I told you about. I'm fucking horrible for remembering to switch out of these tiles, even though I know I'm supposed to. So we just wasted a bunch of our culture, because we're gonna get this craftsmanship. When we improve our fish tile next turn, when we unlock sailing. So that is definitely a screw up on my part. Again, I'm aware of the concepts of what you're supposed to do, but I have a very bad time myself staying on top of that one. So what can you do? You can't play perfect all the time, right? So in the meantime, we've made it here with our scout, and they're all upgraded. So we'll just go ahead and set them to defend for now. We'll skip the builder's turn.
It is not that life ashore is distasteful to me, but life at sea is better.
Nice, so we've got sailing. Now our builder can head out here, and unfortunately he's going to use up excuse me, unfortunately he's going to use up his last charge when he builds that thing. So what we're going to do is, in the meantime, we are going to send our builder here with the 1 charge left out into the water this way, and use them to explore, and with any luck we'll be able to find a 2nd continent. And get the boost to foreign trade here. In the meantime, we'll be able to change our policies here as well, so we're going to go ahead. Oh, I have to wait until next turn to do that. But anyways, we finished sailing, so let's take a look here. And I think what we're going to do is go for animal husbandry next. It's going to unlock horses on the map for us, which is actually another... If we end up building a pasture, it's another tech boost here for horseback riding. So that would be another era score next turn, or next in the next age, I mean. So we're going to go ahead and take that now. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and drop this improvement, which will give us craftsmanship and unlock some new policies. So let's take a look. I think we are definitely going to keep the discipline in, as we're not really going to be making other units other than... What the fuck? Why would I have to unlock for 25 gold when we just... What the fuck? Well, I've never had that happen before. We didn't get a chance to change our policies, unless I'm completely batshit crazy and just didn't remember that I confirmed the policies by accident. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that when I do the editing, but for now, we're just gonna say fuck it, and I'm not paying 25 more gold to change it. We'll just stick to discipline and urban planning for now. I had been kind of wanting to switch into Ilkum because we could really use the production for builders at this point. Not to mention a Goj would have been nice if we want to build a Slinger in order to help get that boost, but whatever, it is what it is, so there's no point crying over spilled grapes, right? So now, in the meantime, we are definitely not improving this fishing boat, as that is, it unlocks the tech boost to another thing by building two sea improvements. So what we are going to do is just go ahead. Oh, I guess we have to, I forget, he's a builder. So we have to manually explore. We can't put them on automated exploration. So we're just going to get out there and build explore, as the game mechanic so often calls it. Okay, so we have 10 more turns in our era. Nice, so they've...
Dogs look up to us.
Well, I shouldn't say nice. Okay, so we've gotten animal husbandry there. It's not looking like we have any horses, so that's a little bit of a letdown. We don't really have anywhere to build a pasture on. So while it's unfortunate, it's not the end of the world. It's not really something that we were counting on for our victory, considering we were going towards ships. However, I do want to slowly work towards archery. Actually, I'm going to totally backpedal here. We're going to go and unlock pottery and make our way towards irrigation, so that we can ideally get this tobacco up online, so that when we do happen to meet enemy civilizations, that we can trade them and get something for it. I am totally glad that I just happened to notice this holy site at one fucking turn left, because I would have totally spaced out and missed that otherwise. What I am going to go ahead and do now is start work on a galley. Or actually, you know what? That's a waste of production, because we can buy our galley with faith. I'm not going to go ahead and buy it this turn, because you get +2 era score for your first naval unit. So I'm going to do that the first turn of the next era. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start work on another builder, which is why that frickin' Ilkum improvement would have came in handy. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to change my mind here. We're going to start work on a settler. Now, the reason behind me doing these settlers, normally I always wait until I get the colonization policy card, because it's coming up pretty quick here once we unlock early empire. However, the reason I am not doing that is because we are on an island map, and we're headed on an island map. We are on an island ourselves, and we're headed into a dark age, and I actually want to adopt the policy where you get... It's one of the Dark Age policies. I think it's called isolationalism. Anyways, it gives you +2 food and +2 production extra for every domestic trade route you have. So that will come in handy there. The only catch to the policy is that you can't build settlers or settle new cities while you have that policy card active. So the quicker that we can get out our remaining 3 settlers here and colonize our island, the quicker I can switch into that policy after and really get the most advantage out of it. Okay, so when I had said, oh good, they spawned more units, it's actually bad because unfortunately they're gonna die before the era ends. Like, I don't think there's any way I can keep their warrior alive. Actually, maybe if I just run from them. Because I don't want to get that era score. We'll see if I can do it here. We're gonna try our best. Anyways, we're gonna keep going with this builder. It's at this point I think we're shit out of luck that we're not gonna get the boost towards foreign trade. We're just gonna have to hard research it. In the meantime, they're spawning more barbarians here, so I don't think I'm really gonna worry about it too much, and I'll just let them sacrifice themselves into me. In the meantime, though, we're just gonna backpedal one step and heal up with the scout and let them start taking shots at our warrior. He should be fine on the mountain, not to mention he'll be due for a promotion after a little bit of combat experience. So yeah. So anywho, now that we know we're not going to be so fortunate as to unlock the boost towards foreign trade, I'm just going to sit here and I'm actually going to sleep with our builder. I don't want to unlock any era score by meeting civilizations that are in the game before the next era. There's just, I don't see any point whatsoever in doing it. So it looks like they've chased our scout and they took another shot at them. I'm going to go ahead and head across the river. That way they won't be able to actually attack our scout, so they should just suicide themselves on our warrior now. Which they did do, which is nice. We've got foreign trade here, so now what we're going to do is, I was going to say we're going to switch into a Gouge to get the production bonus and get some slingers out, but the +5 combat strength I'm sure is going to be more effective. So with that being said, since we don't have colonization yet to put in, it makes more sense to leave urban planning in with the +1 production than switch to Ilkum, even though we will be building builders soon. It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. That extra production is better served in the long run. Now we're going to go ahead, we got that, let's go towards early empire as quickly as we can so that we can get that settler policy. In the meantime, so they have spawned quite a few more units here. We are going to tactically retreat here a little bit further, and what we'll probably end up doing is going over the river. If we can lure them this way, they might end up headed towards our second city there. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. But the scout is just going to stay where he is now and heal up. So they did elect to chase after us, which is fine. I think we should be okay to take a double hit from them and still survive. And that should unlock our promotion, which we'll then take, and everything should work out okay. As soon as the settlers finished in the capital, we'll switch and start producing a slinger. In fact, yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me. So, oh, never mind. I misspoke. We already did get our promotion there. I didn't notice. So we're going to go ahead and take Battle Cry. Now, I've mentioned before that a lot of times I actually will take the Taurus promotion first, because I think it is the more useful promotion when you're actually planning on attacking people, because there's a lot of archers and city attacks, etc. So having that +10 combat strength first helps you survive longer to get enough combat experience for your battle cry. However, we're not planning on attacking anybody. We're just using our warriors to kill barbarians, so the battle cry is definitely the better option for us here. Alright, so they're going spawn happy over there, which is just fine as far as I'm concerned. We're going to go ahead here and start work on a slinger right away. Meanwhile, our settler is going to head down towards the southern end of our island. I don't feel like being too brave and headed over that way. I just don't think that's a really good recipe for success there. Okay, so in the meantime, I still am going to hang tough here for one more attack. Actually, I'm taking that back. No, I'm not. I'm going to totally head over the river here. That way... Oh, shit. That was a mistake. So I'm a fucking idiot. And I I shouldn't have moved here at all with the warrior. Now, I totally thought that our warrior would be safe, because I thought only this one would be able to attack, or sorry, I thought only this guy would be able to attack him across the river. I forgot, because of the movement penalty I'm talking about, sorry. I forgot that there's no movement penalty on the stone, so that this warrior over here got to come across and frickin' whap us too. And as you can see, we survived just by the fucking hair on our balls. So now it's definitely important to keep your units as alive as long as you can on any difficulty level. It's that much more important to do so when you're playing on DD difficulty, because every unit is just that much more valuable to you against the stronger AI, including Barbarian. So I think we will possibly be okay. If I move the warrior back here, we're going to heal up, and then we are going to make a sacrificial offering out of our scout. Say, God bless, good for you. Okay, so unfortunately we did meet Tonries here, which is fine. We couldn't have avoided. I guess they bumped into our builder where we had them settled, which it is what it is. We lost out because we lost an air score point there for meeting her, plus an air score point for getting the bonus of writing. But I mean, you can't run a perfect game all the time. Now we are going to go ahead and retreat back here. Unfortunately, I think we are going to lose our warrior. I really don't think there's a way to avoid it because of the river here. We can't get across into the safety of our city. And now, so we have two options, and I'm honestly not entirely sure which is the correct one. We could possibly move over here and they can still attack us and we wouldn't have any combat bonuses, so I'm pretty sure it would be lights out. However, if we retreat across the river, we would have the combat bonus, but then I'm not sure if they're more likely to attack us, because if we move back here, they might just say fuck it and go towards our second city there. Speaking of which, because of this barbarian uprising, we're going to go ahead and start work on a slinger right away. So yeah, I think it probably is the right move, is retreating back here and just cross our fingers that they don't pursue us. But I mean, realistically, it is what it is. If they do attack us and kill us, we'll at least be able to finish them off with the slinger. Okay, so we actually got lucky. So what we are going to do is we're going to pop across here with our slinger. We'll let them take a shot at us there, and we're going to head into the safety of our city with our warrior. Alright, so we finished the slinger here. We're just going to continue getting another slinger. We only got a couple more turns. Now, what you definitely want to do is send a delegation to them the first time the first turn that you meet them, in order to improve your relationships. Now, it's funny that our relationship is friendly. Somebody had just mentioned this to me the other day. I think it was either on Reddit or Facebook, because I was talking about how if you're a new player, you need to know to if you meet Gilgamesh, to declare your friendship with him in the first turn, because he's the only civilization that you can do that. However, it looks like they've changed Scythia, and apparently you can make friends with her the first turn as well. Somebody had mentioned that they thought that was the case and they weren't entirely sure, so it's looking like that is definitely the case. So we are going to take advantage, and instead of sending her the delegation, fuck that, let's save ourselves the 25 gold and just declare friendship. So there we go. We're a declared friend, which means she can attack us for the next 30 turns, and vice versa for that matter. But we don't have to waste that 25 gold immediately, because I want to save it to help us buy either another slinger or a warrior in the near future here. So our settler has made it safe and sound to where we're going to settle. To where we're going to place our city. Now, don't be alarmed. As I already explained, the barbarian scout there won't attack our settler. I could, if I wanted to, just tell this guy to go to sleep and he'd be just safe where he was, but obviously it doesn't make any sense to do that since we can just found our city. But this is nice. It helped us get towards early empire, which helps us get closer to actually unlocking the colonization slot. However, we might not actually use it right away, because that extra +1 production that we are getting from having the urban planning in is helping us get our combat units out that much faster. So I think we might leave things the way they are for now. In the meantime, though, we're going to go ahead and place our holy site down here. Yeah, who cares? However, I was just about to say, however, we're not going to build it. We're going to start work on a builder. Okay, so we have finally finished our age, and we've hit a dark age, which is great. Well, I say great with an asterisk, because it's going to allow us to get a heroic age next time. So we're going to go ahead and pick our free inquiry here. I've been over this before in other videos, but I'll touch on it quickly. I always think that free inquiry is the best choice to pick for your classical age dedication if you don't end up getting your golden age in a classical age. And this is because it's a lot easier to get the Eurekas in the early game than it is to unlock the inspirations in the civic tree. Not to mention, you're not building that many districts in the classical age where this monumentality is going to become much of a positive thing for you. And then Exodus of the Evangelist, although you would gain +1 era score each time you converted a city to your founded religion, which would be nice, I'd suggest saving that until the medieval era, when you actually have a lot more faith being produced and you can build your apostles and your missionaries and get a lot more use of that era score. So I just think free inquiry is hands down the best choice. So we're going to go ahead and pick that there. Now, it's good that we managed to get into the era. We can finally start exploring again. We'll go ahead and do that there. Now, as far as the slinger, we're gonna frickin' run like there's no tomorrow. We should be okay where we are. Sure, she sent us a delegation. We'll take your cash. That actually might just be enough for... That actually might just be enough for us to get and buy a slinger here. Actually, I think it's 140 for a slinger. Let's take a quick look. And yeah, unfortunately, it's 140 for a slinger and 160 for an archer. So that's a little bit unfortunate. And now, with the amount of barbarians that have spawned, I'm kind of regretting farming this camp, and probably should have just said fuck the air score and taken care of them right away. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think we'll be fine. It's just a matter of fighting through this, and in the long run, it's good experience. However, we weren't planning on building this many military units. Since we're playing a naval game, we will be attacking later on, but our production could have been better spent elsewhere. So looking back, with hindsight being what it is, that was probably a mistake on my part. Now, we are on turn 50, and normally that's where I wrap these up, but for this specific tutorial, I'm actually going to play through all the way until the medieval era, and this is just to show you that I'm not talking out of my ass. I'm not like, oh yeah, purposely take a dark age, you can get your heroic age no problem, and then you try it on your own and don't know what to do. So I'm going to take this one all the way to the medieval era and until we get our heroic age locked in. Now, before I forget about it, I'm going to go over to our second city, and we're going to purchase a unit with faith. We're going to purchase a galley here. That gives us +2 era score for our first unit. Not to mention, it's also going to give a combat strength bonus to the city in case the barbarians decide to attack it here. And again, we're just 2 turns away from hitting 140 gold, and we'll be able to get a slinger. I'll make the decision then whether I do it in our city or the second city up there. But in the meantime, we are just going to head down with our slinger there. The warrior is going to keep healing up in the city, and he should be fine. And we'll keep exploring with our builder here in the meantime. Okay, so we're going to go, we can't keep both military units inside the city, so we're going to go ahead and move the slinger out. The warrior's still healing up in there. Now, we are going to go ahead and finish our holy site here and take a turn to do that. In the meantime, what we're going to do is go ahead and we'll move this slinger back across the river, and then next turn what I'll do is I'll flip-flop the warrior. He should be healed up a considerable amount by then, and we'll get this slinger into the city and be able to attack out from the safety. So in the meantime, normally I would actually explore with this galley, but I'm just going to leave them in the city for the extra combat strength when defending against the barbarians. Okay, so great, we got the +3 era score from building our holy site there, which is a nice perk. It also allows us to start working towards our religion. If we take a look here, so another great prophet has gone. Scythia's found one, which is fine. We are going to be starting to produce it now. So Scythia was the one, it looks like, who built Stonehenge. So she's already back to 68.2 great prophet points. However, it looks like there's an unmet player who's going to get there before us, obviously, which is fine because there's 4 religions unlocked. And now this actually could be, I could have it wrong where Scythia didn't build it. It might have been this player here. Either way, we should be fine. It looks like there is an unmet player who's building their points, but I think that one will be the 3rd religion, which means we'll end up getting the 4th, which is fine. As I already mentioned, I'm not really worried if we don't get a religion. We're actually only after the faith. The religion is basically just icing on the cake at this point. Okay, so we're gonna do the switcheroo that we talked about here, and we're gonna get our slinger into the city, into the safety of the city, I should say. Now, unfortunately, it looks like our slinger out here is going to take quite a bit of damage next turn, but let's try and minimize that as much as we can. We're going to take a shot at the slinger here with our slinger, and then even that one didn't do the most damage because they're injured, so hopefully we'll be able to do pretty much take care of them here, which we were, so that'll limit the amount of damage they can do us in return. Ideally, we're going to survive, but they might actually be able to double team the warrior and completely kill him next turn. It all depends. If this warrior decides to attack, he might continue to heal up, and or how much damage the 2 injured units can do us. So we'll have to cross our fingers and hope it works out for the best. In the meantime, we're going to switch out of irrigation because we want to be able to get that tech boost, the Eureka to farm a resource, since it's pretty easy to do. And we'll switch into something else in the meantime. I think we'll go ahead and start putting some turns into archery, as we could definitely use some archers to deal with the barbarian invasion over here. Now, we're at the 140 gold, so we're going to go ahead. Actually, I'm going to taunt them. We're going to go ahead, instead of buying it up there, what I'm going to do is go ahead and we're going to buy the slinger. Oh, I can't buy the slinger because I forgot about that. I can't buy the slinger here because we have a slinger inside and we've already attacked out with him, so it can't move. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do what I wanted, and I'll go ahead and just buy the slinger here in our second city. It's not the best, but not the worst. And now, with that being said, we're going to wake up our dream here, and we're going to wake up our galley here and start sending them out. And we're going to turn them on. Oh, we can't turn on automated exploration because of they're too close to the barbarians. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Alright, they've finished their holy site. We're going to start them working on a shrine. I think we should be okay. I don't want to jinx us, so knock on wood, but I think we should be okay to fend off the barbarians with what we have here, and I want to get the holy prophet points, or sorry, the great prophet points from the shrine up and running as quickly as we can. Because, like I said, while I'm not really... Okay, nice, so we did survive. So, like I said, I'm not really worried. If we don't get the religion, we don't get the religion. Shit happens. But ideally, I would like it. I mean, I'd like to have my cake and eat it too in a perfect world, right? So we are going to try to get it, and I'm just not going to cry if we don't get it. Now that we have gotten early empire, we've unlocked a governor title, which is nice. We're going to take a look at our policies here. So this is the one I was mentioning earlier, isolationism. Fuck, I'm stupid. Anyway, domestic routes provide +2 food and +2 production, but you can't train settlers or buy them or settle cities. So we want to switch into that once we actually have a trade route to take advantage of it, for one thing. But we need to get out these 2 more cities in the meantime. So I'm not going to switch into colonization just yet, as I think we're better off using that production towards military units. And as tempted as I am to switch into a Gauge here to get the military units faster, I think we're still better off with the discipline policy card slotted in. So we're going to leave that the same for now. In the meantime, we did get a governor here, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to take Magnus for this because I don't want... Actually, you know what? I'm having second thoughts. I was going to take Magnus because I don't want our population to suffer that much, but realistically, we only have 2 more settlers to build. So let's take a look at this quickly here. I'm not really planning on doing a whole shit ton of chopping in the cities either. So I think I'm going to change my mind, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to pick Pingala here. I want to be able to get either our science up or our culture, depending, because, well, actually both of them I should say. I just don't know which one I'm going to pick first. And this is because we have a long way to go. If we look in the tech tree here, we want to eventually get up towards cartography and square rigging. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like, we're not going to get that far in this game, obviously, or in this tutorial rather, but we're playing as if we were going to keep playing this game and do it right. So that's the way I kind of want to go ahead and choose to do things. In the meantime, though, we do want to get towards celestial navigation and shipbuilding, and these are 2 easy ones that we're going to boost by owning 2 galleys or improving 2 sea resources. Plus, I want to get that harbor on that we mentioned earlier too. We have that +4 harbor spot where it's going to give us 3 air score if we get it. So I definitely want to head towards those as quickly as we can. Not to mention the culture helps as well for the same reasons I mentioned earlier. It helps you get to that government, which definitely helps out in the long run. Okay, so I'm just taking a look here. I think we're actually fine with the way things are. We'll take a shot with this slinger and hit them there. Now we'll finish off the warrior here with our slinger. Goodbye. And then we'll take care of the slinger here with that one as well. So we did get the boost to archery as well, which is nice. We're already up to 10 out of 15 before we secure our normal age. Now, I got distracted and didn't even appoint Pingala, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. And we're putting him in the capital as it's the biggest city, so it's going to have the most science and production yield. Because if you look at him here, his first one just gives you 15% increase in science and culture generated by the city. And we get bonus science and culture and whatnot from our palace. It gives us extra yield, so it just makes sense to put them in the spot with the biggest population and where the palace is for now. In the meantime, we've got an early empire, so we're going to head to political philosophy as quickly as we possibly can here. We've already boosted state workforce by building our holy site, so that's nice, and we're only 9 turns away from that. And it'll also give us an extra promotion there, so we can get Pingala online as quickly as we can. Now I'm gonna go ahead and actually just fortify until healed one more turn with the warrior here. We're happy to let them keep attacking over the river into us. In the meantime, let's do some more build exploring. And I gotta keep an eye on the faith too. Once it reaches 130, we're gonna use our faith to buy another galley. In the meantime here, we're gonna go ahead and take our promotion. Now, normally I always take the volley promotion, Normally I always take the volley promotion with my archers. However, I'm going to be picking garrison this time. The reason being is we're not really going to be using them immediately for attacking any enemies as we're on a frickin' island. So I think the extra 10 combat strength from attacking from our cities is going to be useful, especially if down the road a little bit one of the enemy eyes decides to get fresh with us and attacks us from the sea. In the meantime too, it's going to help us deal with these barbarians. So we got a slinger here. We'll head out and attack him with the other one, which we ended up getting the kill there too, so that's nice. We finished that slinger. We're going to go ahead and immediately start work on our holy site. Not to mention, it's nice their population is growing there too, so once we're one turn away from being 3 pop, and then we're be getting 4 soon, and we can drop our government plaza over there. Now, we've also got the promotion here, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this one. I'm not really too concerned about the barbarians here. I think we pretty much have them under control now. Things were looking a little bit dicey, but... Okay, so we discovered a goody hut, which is nice. There, it's being secured by the city-state we already met, so once they move out of the way, I feel completely comfortable to hop onto the land with our builder and go pop that goody hut. In the meantime, our builder can still heal up there. And the good news is, we're going to take the shot here, and we have that plus 10 combat strength from being garrisoned. So, as you can see, it's going to deal quite a bit of damage here, and we should be able to finish them off nice and easy. Now I'm going to start moving forward with our warrior. We want to take care of these barbarians as quickly as humanly possible because we want to start improving these tiles, and we've wasted enough frickin' production. I mean, I say wasted. Ideally, it's better to it's better to build slingers anyways, and then upgrade them into the archers because you are saving yourself production. I just personally wouldn't have gotten so many of them this early in the game while we're on an island map. And again, as I said, there was a little bit of an oversight on my part because of the fact that I let the barbarians go a little bit batshit crazy there. Now, in the meantime, what we're going to do is go ahead and start work on the settler again in our second city. Now that they've got their holy site up online, I think that's a good thing for them. And as soon as our capital finishes the shrine, we'll probably head into that as well. Actually, I'll probably build a builder first and then head into that as well. So we're going to move closer with our slinger. It looks like they're getting a little bit stir crazy and they're sending their spearmen after us, which is fine by all accounts. We'll let them come towards us if they want to, and then we'll both attack them, which is nice. Looks like they've retreated all the way with their warrior there, which is fine as far as I'm concerned. We're going to start moving out with our healthy slingers over here. Actually, we'll move all the way to the stone, and then we'll double tap them here with these 2 slingers. We won't be able to kill them, but they'll be crippled and probably head back towards the safety of their barbarian camp. Now, I think what I will do is just we'll heal the warrior up one more turn, so that we can get them healthy as quickly as we can and use it to clear out the camp. Now, hopefully, I was just about to say, hopefully they'll be so kind as to get the fuck off our goody hut. And you know what? I didn't even say it, and they did it. So it's like great minds think alike. So we went ahead and picked up 120 gold there, which is great. Now, we're not really using that gold for anything, but it helps us get closer towards being able to purchase a builder in the relatively near future. So we're going to go ahead and keep moving forward with our troops. They did take the shot at the slinger here, but that is a-okay as far as I'm concerned. We'll go ahead And we'll remember now, first off, we learned from our mistakes. So we're going to back this fucking slinger up so that this warrior won't be able to attack them next turn once this spearman is dead and there's nobody to occupy that tile. So we'll go ahead and take out the spearman here with our 2 slingers. And this way they can still come forward and attack, but our slinger here is at full health and has the defensive bonus of being in the rainforest, so they'll be a-okay. In the meantime, we'll just get that slinger to heal up. Alright, so now that Mr. Builder here has done his job and grabbed the goodie hut, we'll get back into the water and keep exploring. We've picked up archery, which is a nice boost for us. Now, since we do have these barbarians under control, I'm not going to waste our money and upgrade them to archers right now. I just really don't see a point in doing that. That money is better off either purchasing tiles for us or buying builders in a perfect world. So, as far as what we're going to research next, let's take a look here. Again, we're saving irrigation for getting that tech boost of farming the resource. We've already got the boost for writing, not to mention it would be nice to get a campus up online at some point in the near future. So I think that is what we're going to head towards. And now, once we get another galley here, we'll have the boost towards shipbuilding, but I'm more concerned about getting celestial navigation under control there, and all we have to do is improve one more sea resource, which should be that one, and then we'll be having that taken care of. I mean, I could come back with this builder and improve that fish tile, but I think we're better off exploring and hopefully getting air score from bumping into different civilizations and whatnot. So, anywho, we're going to just keep moving forward with our healthy slingers here. They can kill themselves by attacking any of those 2 as far as I'm concerned. Oh, never mind, this one can actually attack. So we'll go ahead and do that now and not have to worry about it. In the meantime, this warrior's healed up enough. We're going to start getting him to move towards... Oops, I almost upgraded him to an archer there by accident. I thought that just wasn't paying attention and thought that was the promotion key, not the upgrade key. So we're going to go ahead and just sit back here, and most likely they'll come out. Alright, so it looks like we were a little bit unfortunate and they actually spawned units, but that's fine. We'll just sit back here and attack them. In the meantime, our warrior is going to be getting closer here and becoming more of a threat, so they might come towards him as well. If they move into this tile, we're leaving it open so that we can use this slinger to attack in the meantime. Now, we finished that shrine, so we're going to go ahead and get a builder immediately. Actually, I'm reconsidering, and we're going to go ahead and start work on a trader. The quicker we get this out, the better, as far as we can get a domestic trade route going and help one of our smaller cities here grow a little bit quicker. Not to mention, it's actually also going to give us the boost towards, not masonry, it's going to give us the boost towards, oh my god, I freaking, the one that unlocks the commercial hubs, I'm having a moment. Currency, that's what I'm looking for. At least I had the last part of the word right. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and skip this guy's turn. Now, our builder, unfortunately, picked a shitty way to explore and ran into some ice caps there, so we'll have them head back onto the land and take the shortcut that way. Now, we've got the promotion available here. Make sure I click the right button, because I'm a numbskull, and I did. We're going to take Garrison for the same reasons we already talked about earlier. And now, this slinger has a promotion, and he'll follow suit. Now, I was right, the warrior decided to be a dumbass and moved into, instead of moving into this tile where he could get bopped, now he can get attacked by both of us over here. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we'll use our warrior to attack him as well, so that way he can't really kill us that quick. So it looks like the Dutch have found us. Sure, we'd love to sample your hospitality. Now we're going to go ahead and we got stake workforce, so we'll go ahead and switch our things. I think now we're going to be building settlers in our 2 big cities, so I think that production bonus is worth it until we get those 2 settlers cranked out. And now, I'm not really worried about discipline, because we have the barbarians under control at this point. So, watch, famous last words, they just go batshit crazy and wipe us out. But I'm going to put in conscription there to help earn us a little bit more money. It's not much, but if we do end up upgrading those archers, it'll add up a little bit. So we got the extra governor tile for getting that as well, and I think we actually have, oh, I'm looking at our faith, I'm like, we actually have really good science per turn, because I'm looking at fucking plus 14.7. I'm going to go ahead and do the science per turn, because I'm more concerned with getting that boosted early, and I think the very next promotion, I think we will take Connoisseur, as I'm not really worried about great people at this point. But having screwed up and looked at the faith per turn, I just realized we're over 130 faith, which is what I was supposed to be paying attention for. So we're going to go ahead and buy ourselves a galley here, which gives us that boost towards shipbuilding, which is also another era score. We're only 3 more era scores away from, or era points, I guess I should say, away from getting a normal age, and it is only 29 to our heroic age, so we're 15 points away from getting where we want to go. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and we'll finish off that warrior there. We'll finish off the warrior here with our slinger as well. And I'm going to move a step closer with our warrior here. Meanwhile, the slinger's healed up, so we're going to get him to start moving in a little bit closer. We'll skip turn for now, though, because we have to wait to get across the river. And here, I think we're just fine healing up. I was just going to say, with our slingers, we want to let them come to us. Unfortunately, it looks like maybe I shouldn't have switched out of the discipline policy slot. Maybe I jumped the gun on that a little bit, but we're just going to say fuck it, and we're going to upgrade our units here. While that gold would have been better spent as a builder, unfortunately, you got to roll with the punches sometimes. So we'll go ahead and upgrade those 2 units. That will give us the strength we need to finish off the barbarians here. Meanwhile, we'll head onto the hills here, so we have the better defensive bonus. Plus, they'll only be able to attack us with the archer here. Their warriors are stuck, and they'll get slowed down by moving through the jungle terrain here if they try to engage us. So we got writing completed. That is nice. I'm going to head straight towards the Celestial Navigation now. We will get that resource improved before 11 turns is out, as after we get the builder here, we'll do a quick, after we get the trader here, we'll do a quick builder. Let's just get the queue going so I don't forget about this at the moment. We'll get a quick builder after that, and then we'll go and produce the last settler. By that time, we should have these barbarians taken care of. Now, with this galley, we're just going to go ahead and turn on automated exploration. It looks like there's another nice location. Well, not nice, but a decent location for a city for us over here. So we'll go ahead and pin that now while we're over there. Actually, it looks to be one over here as well. And I would probably pin it right here, so that way we have access to the fish resources here. And 1, 2, 3. I can't quite tell. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'd have that crab as well. Not to mention, instead of settling there, we'd be getting rid of the hill. So this way, it saves that hill for us to build a mine on it and is extra production. All right, so things are a little bit crazy here. Let's try and figure this out. I think we should be okay to just heal up. Again, the only unit that can attack us this turn is that archer, which, okay, they went ahead and did that. That's just fine as far as I'm concerned. We're going to hit back with the slinger. Then we'll attack them with our archer. And we'll finish them off. Oh, wait, I can't attack over the hill, I guess. So that is fine there. We're just going to we'll leave our warrior right where he is to fortify and heal up on the hill. However, we are going to back up with this slinger as he could get basically bum rushed by that warrior over there, and we want to keep them alive, as we said, as long as we possibly can. Now I am going to move this archer forward because I want to be able to at least take one shot. It is opening us up to an attack from the warrior here, but if the archer just sits there and hides all the time, we won't get any use out of them anyway. So we finished the trader here. What I am going to do is go ahead and we're going to transfer them to our second city over here, and that way the second city can use... Oh, fuck off. What unit died? Okay, the slinger was killed. Our injured slinger was killed by the archer. Unfortunately, shit happens. At least it was just a slinger. So now what we're going to do is we're going to finish off this archer here. We'll leave... Actually, and then we'll back up with our warrior here and tell them to heal up. And we'll back up with our archer as well. This way we'll be able to... when they move forward, let them defend, let our warrior defend there, and we'll be able to either attack them or even back up one square and attack them, since they'll be so visible on the hill. We finally finished the frickin' builder here in our third city. We're going to go ahead and actually start work on the holy site now. We'll go right ahead and get a mine going to help increase their production over there. And do that for starters. In the meantime, this slinger is just going to go ahead and heal. There's not really much use to us. And here we're going to go ahead and send the trade route. It is behind our troops, so it should be okay. Oh god, am I ever fucking regretting not clearing that barbarian camp right away. This is pretty freaking out of line. Now, alright, so we're gonna move our archer back into the city because they have that +10 combat strength for being garrisoned in the city, which will allow them to start punching through for quite a bit of damage. We're going to move back one tile with our archer here so that they're safe, and we'll attack their injured warrior over there. Meanwhile, we are going to take our slinger and actually move completely back into the safety of the city there. I was considering moving back to the holy site because they still would be safe. Actually, fuck it, that's where I will move them, because that way it might lure them into that square, and then we could take a free shot next turn to finish them. But either way, this way, the units are all safe except for the warrior here, because of being in range of the archer. So we are going to actually move back a little bit. We are still in range of them, but now at least we have the combat strength of the jungle to help us out there a little bit. We'll go ahead and get that mine on, which gives us the bonus towards it. Alright, now... So they moved forward and attacked us with their archer. I was wondering, I'm like, how the fuck did our archer get attacked? But that is fine. We'll go ahead and finish off their archer now. Now, this archer can actually retreat all the way into our city, which is what we're going to do because they're injured and they can heal up. Now, this allows us to take another shot at the warrior there. We didn't quite finish them off, but we're pretty damn close to it. And now we're going to move on to this tile over here. It opens us up to an attack, but if they attack with this warrior, it's across the river, so, I mean, it's going to die anyway. And, we already have the promotion too for increased combat strength on the warrior, so I'm comfortable taking the shot from this guy, and we should be fine with that as far as I'm concerned. Now, alright, so continuing along here, we're going to take our builder friend and we're going to send them over here to actually come over here, and we're going to use them to help get this city up and running. Okay, so we met the Chinese, sure. It's great to meet you. We'll exchange information. So their capital's way over there. I totally forgot. I'm fucking bad at this. To send her a delegation, so she's not going to want it now. And she's going to be pissed at us. But that's fine. We're not going to make the same mistake with China here. We'll go ahead and send them a delegation. Okay, so that's fine. I'm not really too worried about it because we are on an island map. But it still would be nice to have them on our side if we can help it. Now, alright, so we've taken 2 shots with our warrior here. I think we're definitely still okay. We're going to move out of the way with our slinger and get them back there. And we're going to move back with the warrior. I think we should be okay here to fend off another attack from them. We're going to help out as much as we can by attacking the warrior with our archer there, because they have the cracked up bonus of being that plus 10 combat strength from being in there. Now we've met another city-state here, unfortunately. Oh, it looks like China wants to be friends with us, so we're going to go ahead and declare that friendship now. It just basically secures them not attacking us. There's not really any other huge benefit other than possibly getting better trade deals with them in the near future. Now, I'm having a brain fart. I meant to do something. Oh, I'm checking city-states. That's what it is. So we did get a first meet on the military city-state here. So what that does is it allows us to have an +2 production in the capital when producing units, which is nice. But unfortunately, we didn't get the first meet on either Mexico or Hattusa here, which is fine. Let's take a quick look and see. So the military city-state wants us to train a heavy chariot. Mexico wants us to complete a holy city, so we should be able to get an envoy there with them, no problem. And Hattusa wants us to get the Eureka for irrigation. So actually, it's looking like we should be able to get +3 extra envoys pretty shortly here, because we're going to end up getting this settler to head over to make this city right here, and we'll improve the wheat quickly before we harvest it for city growth, and that will be the boost towards irrigation. So now, while I'm thinking of it, before I forget again, we are going to switch out of celestial navigation right here, because we don't want to waste any of our science either, and we're going to be getting that boost. Now, so we're definitely not doing irrigation, we're definitely not doing celestial navigation. I think what we'll do is head towards the wheel here, and this is because it's going to allow us to build a water mill, which isn't that great of a building. Like, it's not earth-shattering by any means, but it allows us to get the boost towards construction, which is yet another era score for us that we can get pretty easily here. And then we actually might want to be headed towards masonry in the near future as well, after we get the boost by building a quarry, which we'll be doing very shortly. So in the meantime, we don't have any resources to mine on our island here, so I'm just going to hard research the wheel, because quarries don't count, as obviously they trigger masonry. Alright, so our builder friend here he's doing a fantastic job, I might say. He's just going to keep going and looking. The Chinese are sending us a delegation here, which is nice. It's a free 25 gold. Okay, so now that freaking they've shown up with a completely healthy warrior here, we are going to piece the fuck out. What we'll do is we're going to move our archer over here. We're going to get our builder to run his ass into the city and heal up. And we are basically just going to run away from the warrior with our slinger. Now, they might chase it, because they might be able to attack. But really, it's only a slinger. I'm not too worried about it. And we can sit here with this archer that's in the city. And what I'm going to do is, normally I would suggest attacking the archer here. But what I am going to do is is attack the warrior first, and this is because we're going to be sending our settler here up towards the north to settle. And so if they end up chasing with our warrior, I want to be able to have a chance to kill them with this slinger, or at the very least be able to move our archer here next turn and be able to take a shot at them depending on where the warrior is. Not to mention they won't be able to attack us with their archer here next turn, because no matter where they move, if they move to the hill here or to the stone here, they're either crossing a river, which is going to suck up all their movement and they won't be able to attack, or even if they move here to the hill, it'll do the same thing and take all the movement points, so they won't be able to attack into us next turn. So we'll go ahead and take that shot now. We'll get our settler friend here and we'll get them to head towards there. Now, I think I might have just made a mistake. I should have sent him up on this tile, as I'm pretty sure this warrior might actually be able to go to the holy site and then capture our settler. So I'm gonna really regret that move if that's the case. I hate when I make screw ups and it's in tutorial videos. I feel that much worse. Before we figure out what we're gonna worry about in the second city, let's take a look here at the great people. So 3 great prophets are gone, which is fine. We're at 38 out of 60. The Netherlands already have theirs. They already have theirs. And it looks like China isn't doing this. So I'm not entirely sure whether this unmet player here... Wait, if 3 already have it, hold on. Let me do the math here. So there's 1, there's 2 that have it for sure, and there's 3. Okay, so my bad. Then this player here is actually producing great profit points per turn. They have 40.2 out of 60, and they're making 4.6. So we're only making 3, and we're already behind them. So essentially what this means is, like I said, I'm not going to worry if we don't get our great profit, but our settler is going to take a back seat to us actually getting this great profit, and we're going to go ahead and start holy site prayers, because now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, I think it's even more important to get it because of the fact that it's going to give us era score too. When we're going to get an era score for getting the great profit, but then also when we found our religion. So I don't want to miss out on that, so we're going to go ahead and do that there. And now here, let's take a look and see what the production is. It's going to be 12 for the holy site prayers, so screw that. We'll just go ahead and start work on a shrine right away. Now this builder here, we'll go ahead and get him to head out into the water so that he can make his way up to the north. And with this guy, we'll just keep exploring. Jesus. All right. So I was right that they couldn't attack with the archer. However, this archer here did get hit, so we are definitely going to tactically retreat here. Now, I think the safest bet is to head back here with our warrior and head into the safety of the city with that archer. And they have that plus 10 combat strength anyway, so they should be able to... it should be able to give them a boost when attacking the barbarians here. Now, as soon as we get political philosophy in 4 turns, I'm definitely fucking turning discipline back on. I shouldn't have taken that out before we completely had the the barbarians under control. I really thought that we had them pretty much managed, but clearly that was a mistake. Our settler is fine. We'll go ahead and take another shot at their archer here from the protection of our city there. And again, we want to head to the north with our builder. Now, I think this slinger is going to move forward. I'm trying to lure, by doing that, I'm trying to lure this archer even closer. I don't care if he takes a shot at the slinger, even if he kills it realistically. I would rather just be able to have another one of their archers done with. So we found a barbarian camp here. So we're going to go ahead and attack the warrior here, and we'll leave leave our warrior here. Even though he's that injured, he should be fine because their barbarian warrior has to move here first, which will take a turn, and then take another turn to attack across the river. And by that time, the archer should have had enough where we can basically kill them. So we succeeded in luring the archer into place. We're going to move forward one step and attack with the slinger, and then we're going to finish them off with our archer there. Meanwhile, we'll head over there because as soon as we don't want to impede the settlers movement here, we'll go ahead and drop the city next turn, and then our builder should be able to head over and improve that tile to give us the boost towards irrigation. In the meantime, let's just keep exploring with our builder. And unfortunately, until we get the barbarian situation under control over here, we can't really do much with this builder, so we will just sleep. In the meantime, I think once we get this stupid warrior taken care of, which it looks like is going to be right now, you know what? I'm going to let them attack across the river into the slinger, and I'm just going to take the extra turn to heal with our archer and the warrior back here. I don't want to attack again. I want them to actually get some health points up. And then in the meantime, we're going to... Hold on one second. Let me think about this. If they move there, there's still the hill between us, so I'm pretty sure we should be safe to move here and attack the warrior there. And now we'll found the city here, and we'll just start work on a monument as it's going to be a few turns before we can afford to purchase that tile and start work on a campus. Let's take another look at the great people here and see how we're doing. And I think we're going to be shit out of luck. It looks like they will get the 4th prophet, so it's a little bit disappointing as we missed out on some era score there. But it is what it is. You can't, like, with me making that mistake, I can't even state the significance of it. Like, not killing that barbarian camp there has basically just totally fucked us and taken away all the wind in our sails, essentially, because we were doing well. We were doing well, but then having to waste all of that production and build all these slingers here just to get the barbarians under control, unfortunately set us back so far that, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure, there it is, 4 great prophets, that we didn't get our religion. But now, so now we sure as fuck aren't going to waste our time building these holy site prayers, as it does absolutely nothing for us at this point. And so what we'll do is switch into building our last settler as quickly as we can here. Now, let's take a look and change our policies. We are still building that last settler, so I'll leave colonization in for now. We definitely want to start earning some envoys here, so we'll put in charismatic leader, and we're going to want to get builders up right away, so we'll also put in the production bonus towards Ilcum. And then we'll also actually put in Diplomatic League here as well for now. And that way, once we get these envoys from completing the city-state quests with Mexico City or Hattusa, that will, in a perfect world, allow us to get an extra envoy in each of them, which will then give us the potential to actually become suzerain of them, possibly before the era ends here. Now, taking a look at that, we are still 11 points away from getting our bonus, getting our heroic age, and we have 17 turns until the next era. Now, us missing out on that great prophet is a little bit of a kick in the nuts. Oh yeah, before I forget about it, we're going to switch out of the shrine here, as there is no way for us to get that religion now, so that takes away the priority of doing that immediately. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get a granary so that we can ideally build fast. Or sorry, not a granary. Sorry, we're going to go ahead and get a builder up so we can get some improvements going and increase our production as quickly as we can. Now, as far as our civics go, we want to get cheap civics that are going to give us envoys so that we can get those, ideally get those suzerain ships. So I think where we're going to go is towards mysticism here. Although it's not really doing much for us, that envoy might come in lucky if we are able to complete those quests, which we should be able to. We have 9 turns here before we get this holy site, which that will take care of Mexico City. We're about to improve this farm right here, which should give us Hattusa. So speaking of which, we'll go ahead and do that there. So that's nice. We got 2 with Hattusa, so now we only need 1 envoy and we'll become their suzerain for 2 era score. And then we need to train a heavy chariot and construct the holy site. So I'm not going to really worry about the heavy chariot unless it really comes down to it. We'll kind of play it by ear and see as we go here. However, now that we did get irrigation completed, we want to finish getting the wheel, but then what I'm going to do is go straight towards celestial navigation, which shouldn't take us very long either, as we're about to improve our second sea resource, which, if I had been thinking about it, this builder could have went and done, and we would have already had that. So that was another little mix-up on my part. So their warrior is over there, which is fine. We're just going to leave our slinger here and tell them to heal up. The archer's going to just continue to hang out, and same thing with our warrior until they get a little bit healthier. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move here. I don't think they can attack through the jungle, so I'm pretty sure they're going to have to move here, and we'll be able to get the first attack on them, and we should be able to be okay there. Now, as far as this builder, is just going to keep exploring. Okay, so I was wrong. Are they on a fucking hill? How do they shoot through the... See, this is stupid. They're not on a hill, and they have 3 jungle tiles ahead of them. How are they... oh wait, I'm on a hill. Fuck. Never mind. Wow. Special. Alright, so we're going to move back here and heal up and wait for them to move into our line of sight. That is definitely not the smoothest moves on my part. So now that we have... now that we have gotten the boost towards irrigation, we're going to go ahead and actually remove the improvement. And then next turn, we're going to harvest this wheat to actually allow them to grow further. Now, we are not doing the best as far as money, so I want to definitely get this tobacco up online as quickly as we can too, now that we do have... now that we do have irrigation and the technology to do that, so we can sell it and get some money for it. We've got the wheel now. We know what we're doing. We're headed towards navigation here. This builder will get here next turn. We'll do that and unlock the boost towards it. Which actually, I think we're fine, so why are we even researching it? Like, I'm pretty sure we'll completely get the boost. So in the meantime, then, what we're going to do is just start working on masonry so that we can maybe have to build some ancient walls if we have to. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and harvest the wheat here. Okay, so now they've locked their borders, which is fine. Let's go ahead and talk to them. We should be able to get open borders, no problem. And let's see what they'll do. Will they give us some more money for it too? Yeah, they will. So we'll do that with them, and let's go around the table here and see if the other ones will do so as well. Now, she's obviously going to be less inclined to, because we have a worse relationship with her. As you can see, she's only giving us 2 gold, but it's better than a kick in the nuts. And then we'll go talk to Scythia here, or to the Scythians here, and Tomris. I always get that mixed up. I always call her Scythia. Anywho, we'll get the open borders going on and get them to pay us as well there. So that's an extra 4 gold per turn just from sharing our borders, which we are happy to do. Plus it allows our builder to keep exploring here and go on his merry way. Alright, so our archer is pretty well healed, so we're going to start heading out with them. Same thing with our warrior. We are going to get him to head over this way so he's closer. We'll stay here for one more turn with that archer since they're still in the yellow. However, we're going to move our slinger in and use him as a target to hopefully draw the barbarian archer closer out. Now we got celestial navigation there, so I think that is it. Or do we still need to... No, it's one turn. So we're going to get that quickly here, and then go into masonry, which will allow us to build that frickin' harbor at in the capital. We have one more build left with this guy, so I think what we'll do is head over here and get that nice production tile of the bananas up online, and it'll give us some extra gold per turn as well. Not to mention, once we get to mysticism, I'm going to put conscription in, which will help save us some money too. But we're going to continue exploring with our builder over there. Okay, so we got an extra air score there for getting celestial navigation, so that's just a nice bonus. And oops, what the fuck was that? Anyway, so we are going to build this settler. However, we're going to lock in the price of the harbor that we talked about earlier, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, it does take 10 turns to build the harbor as of right now. Let's take a look and see the air score. So we still have 13 turns left. It's going to be cutting it kind of close, to be honest. But we'll have to play it by ear. I think we should be okay. By the time the city population is going to grow too, so that should help with the production. I think we should be okay there. Now, again, we're going to hopefully use this slinger as a little bit of a sacrificial goat. Either way, both units will be able to attack the archer, and because we're both on hills, we can actually hit them with our archer from back there. And meanwhile, our warrior is going to get even closer so that we can finally put this fucking barbarian camp to rest. Holy God, talk about a monumental mistake that just completely crushes everything you're planning to do with the game. Anyway, we have one more charge left with our builder here now that we've improved the fishes, so we're going to head straight over here and get the tobacco online like we already talked about. This dude can actually just keep heading around here and see what he can see. Okay, nice. So they actually attacked our slinger, which is great because he's the weakest unit and we don't really give a shit about him. But anywho, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our government policies here. Now, hold on one second. Yeah, we're still going to leave those ones in. I was just seeing if we could go ahead and switch out of the... if we could go ahead and switch out of the Diplomatic League one, but we're not going to. We're going to leave that in place for now. We definitely need colonization still. Are we doing Ilkum, or can we switch into urban... Or no, I want to switch into... get some more money and switch into conscription, so... Oh, did I assign the policies again? What the fuck? Did I do that at... Okay, I swear to God, unless I'm going batshit crazy, that's the second time that my economic policies have screwed up in this game. Again, unless I was just, like, fast clicking and I didn't fucking realize what I was doing, that's the second time something screwed up considering my government policies. But again, I'll have to check during the editing. Anyway, onward and forward. We got the envoy from that, which is great. We'll go ahead here and I guess we'll go ahead here and I guess just head towards our next religion and go towards divine right for monarchy, just because it's going to get us that unlock the scripture policy here, which will get plus 100% holy site adjacency bonuses, which is really going to help us to increase our faith, which we are going to be using. Well, if we were playing this into the medieval era, we're not. We're only going to the medieval era. But if this was a real game, that would allow us to really ramp up our faith and use it to buy more ships and to also, buy settlers and builders, which we're going to be doing when we unlock the heroic age next when we unlock the heroic age, we'll be using the monumentality dedication, which will allow us to buy builders and settlers with faith. However, considering we are on an island and we're about to build our last settler over here, I'm going to go ahead and spend some more of that faith now that we have... Oops, never mind, I take that back. I was thinking that celestial navigation opened up the ability to build quadrimas, but that's over in shipbuilding, so we don't have that yet. Alright, anywho, now we're going to finally put this warrior, or put this archer to rest. We're going to attack with the slinger. We should finish him with the archers there. And we are going to move within one tile of finally taking this damn barbarian encampment. Now watch them spawn a fucking army next turn. I swear I'll lose my shit. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get the plantation up online there. And keep going with Mr. Build Explorer. Sure. Yes. Alright, so we've unlocked an envoy, so now we have 2 envoys. So we are going to get 2 air score here as we're going to take control of Hattusa. There we go. And then we are going to save our envoy here for when we complete the holy site here, and we'll get two envoys in Mexico City, and that will allow us to become suzerain of them in 3 turns, which will be another 2 air score. So we only have 5 more air score to go before we get our heroic age locked in, which should not be a problem, as we are going to get 3 for building this harbor here, which shouldn't be a problem, knock on wood. Worst case scenario, we'll take this builder and frickin' chop some tiles if we have to, in order to increase the production to make sure we get that out before the age ends. But that should be it. Two air score from becoming suzerain of Mexico City, and then building that harbor should lock us into our heroic age. So even with all this drama, even with all this bullshit barbarian stuff going on, we are looking to be able to lock in this heroic age. So you can just imagine if I hadn't made that mistake and allowed the barbarian camp to just spew all over us, that we would be even in an even better position right now, that much further ahead, and how much, like, it would have been that much easier to get our heroic age locked in. So yeah, anywho, I want to savor this moment. Let's get in close, nice and close. Oh, there we go. Sure, it's an honor to meet you. We'd love to sample your hospitality. And I totally forgot we got 3 air score for that as well. So we don't even need to worry about getting that harbor. We're not going to waste the time chopping stuff, because it's going to cut into the adjacency bonuses that this that this holy site here is going to get, as well as that one. So we have officially secured ourselves that air score that heroic age as soon as we build that heroic... I can't even fucking talk now. As soon as we build that holy site in 3 turns. Alright. Now that we finally have that under control, it doesn't really matter what we do with these guys. Let's just tell them to heal up for now. In the meantime, we'll send this slinger down there. Now keep in mind that this scout is now going to go batshit crazy and just attack the first thing that he sees, because his barbarian camp is gone. So we have to be a little bit cognizant of that. Now we are going to be getting our tobacco up there, which we're going to go ahead and sell immediately here. So let's see who will give us the best deal. Now, okay, so they won't do 200. Let's try 180 to start. Nope. 160. Okay, they'll do 160. Let's try 175. I know I'm kind of bouncing all around here, but I'm greedy. Okay, so they'll do 170. Looks like 171 maybe. There you go. So you always want to nickel and dime for as much as you can. So we know that they're at 171 for her, and let's talk to the Chinese and see if they'll offer us anything better. And let's see, 171. At least we know what we're targeting, and we can go straight to it this time, and they won't even do that there. Now, I mean, it's fat chance, but you never know. She does like trading, so let's see if she'll... Oh, she doesn't even have any money for us. And she won't do that, so no. And we'll quickly check Cyrus here. Did I forget to send him a delegation too? Oh, no, I didn't. Thank God. Okay. See, I'm fucking bad for that. Anyway, make a deal. Do as I say, not as I do. Anywho, let's check how much he'll give us for our tobacco here. And... okay, and so he won't do that either, so that doesn't matter. That means she's the winner. We'll go ahead here and send her this for 171. Accept the deal. And now the reason that I'm doing this is we don't really need to worry about amenities very much. In fact, you don't have to worry about them at all until your population starts going after growing to a certain extent. I believe it starts counting amenities against you at either 3 or 4 population. I forget. It's one of the two. I think it's 3. And every 2 population you go up, you need 1 more amenity. So we're totally okay to send that amenity away and profit off of it by using that gold that we got, the 171 now, to do something else, which I would say in our case, our best bet is to probably buy a builder. I'd imagine actually would be the best to do. So we need to wait until 260 gold now. So we got a few more turns to wait for that. Now we might not, because we have some diplomatic favor, and I don't know if you know this or not, but the civilizations... oh wait, we already picked her clean, I forgot. Or no, she has a bit more money. But the enemy AI values diplomatic favor like crack. They'll trade tons for it. So I know they'll trade more and more the higher you go up in the eras. Like in the medieval era, they'll give you even more for it as it becomes more valuable once the World Congress unlocks. But even now, you can see she'll give us 4 gold per turn and 1 extra just for our measly 6 diplomatic favor. And I mean, realistically, unless you're trying to get a diplomatic victory, and where you get that 1 diplomatic victory point if you guess right and you vote on the same thing as everybody else and you agree with them, and your proposition passes, you get a diplomatic victory point. But if you're not going for the diplomatic victory, who the fuck cares? You might as well use it and sell it and take advantage of the fact that they'll trade you lots of money for this stuff, because there's not really that many great, amazing bonuses you can get for having diplomatic favor. It's better, in my opinion anyways, to just trade it off and take advantage in other ways. So let's go ahead here and see what Cyrus will do. What about 80 gold? He won't. Okay, hold on. Let's take a quick look, because I completely forget I'm a bone skull. How much did we needed? 260, so we need 26 more gold. Let's just try and get 26 gold. 26 gold, and then just increase by 1. See, there you go. We gave 2 of our diplomatic favor away, and now we can go and buy ourselves that builder this turn and do that right now. So we'll go ahead here and purchase our lovely builder. Alright, so speaking of builders, our wonderful explorer over here is just going to keep going on his merry way. The archer can finally be put to rest. I'm not really worried about killing that scout, as it's just going to go crazy here and suicide into us. So, I guess it is free experience. Might as well pop over and shoot at him in the meantime. We still got 2 more turns left on this builder, but let's go ahead and get the production increased in this area and get some quarries going. That'll be another point of era score as well, even though we don't really need it. Now, our friendship expired with her, so let's go ahead and renew that. We don't want her getting all pissy with us. So, continuing on, now our archer here. Let's just move them down to where we're going to be settling this last city in a minute. The builder can keep going. Okay, so as I was talking about, they really do prefer your diplomatic favor here, but for that price, we're gonna say screw it, it's not good enough for us. But what we will do is see how much gold he'll give us. Oh, he wants us to pay for open borders, so no, we'll definitely reject that. But we will try on our turn to go back to him and see if we can sell our open borders, because he might just have been pissy because we rejected his proposal there. Alright, so we got masonry. Now we already talked about it. We're beelining it straight for shipbuilding now. Excuse me. Now, yeah, we're gonna, before I forget, we're gonna go talk to Cyrus quickly here, and we'll see if we can go ahead and sell him that open borders, like we said. And no, he's just being pissy. So I don't really care. He's far away from us anyway. I'm pretty comfortable with where we're at. We're gonna go ahead and just leave this warrior here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and tell him to move into that city and alert there. We'll finally take another shot at the scout. He should be ancient history next turn. Meanwhile, our wonderful builder's just gonna keep going on his merry way. We'll finally get this quarry up online here. As you can see, I'm kind of speeding up the way I'm talking about it here. When we do come to really important things, I will slow down and explain things again here, but we've pretty much secured our victory, as we already talked about. So they just completed their holy site, which allowed us to get the city-state quest. I can't fucking talk today. I don't know why. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to become... Oh, drama. Drama. So we won't become the suzerainship because we only have one envoy to send. So now what we have to do is go and... I mean, I'm not worried. Don't worry. We're still gonna get it. Just we're going to... Oh shit, he's a suzerain of that one as well. Alright, so we need to quickly take a look here and come up with a way to get 2 more era score. Now we are going to be building this harbor here, so we'll go ahead and do that. We have 8 turns, and there's exactly 8 turns left in the era. So let's see if we can switch them to production bonus, if that will help. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they should be able to do that in better than 8 turns. It doesn't show up on the tooltip until afterwards anyway. So they completed a builder here, which is nice. Let's go ahead and get them. We're going to start work. Oh wait, we need to get our population up 1 more score here, which is fine. In 3 turns they will be able to start work on the government plaza, so might as well... Wait, we don't even have the... Oh yeah, we do have Ilkum slotted in. So we might as well put some more turns into a builder here while we do have that policy up and running where we have this extra 30%. So in the meantime, this builder has 2 more charges, so we're going to build the quarry here and then we'll build the mine there. So we'll head over this way with this guy and build a mine in that spot as well. Now, we did finish our holy site here. I think it's more important that this city grows, so we're going to start work on a granary. And this warrior can just basically go to sleep. We don't really need him at the moment. So, there goes that. We'll tell the warrior to head over here for next turn. And now we have finally finished our settler, so... Now that we've cleared the barbarians out, let's go colonize their land. And speaking of those barbarians, there we go. We finally finished them off. Feel like I should have a hero cookie or something for that. But we're going to keep moving along with that builder here. Now, our slinger is just going to stay alert. He'll heal up automatically, so that's fine. As you can see here, they are starting to value the diplomatic favor a little bit more. Now, it's really still not that much until they get to... it's really not that much until they... sorry, as I was saying, it's really not that much until, as I already mentioned, you unlock the ability for the World Congress. And they are willing to trade us the silver, but I'm actually more interested in their horses, and she won't trade it. Okay, so unfortunately, that's not going to go as planned, but I'm going to refuse her deal here. We can try and trade it back if... so sorry, see, they want it as well. But let's see, will they trade their horses, though? And they won't trade their horses. Alright, so we'll try again on our turn. Everybody wants our stuff, but apparently nobody's willing to trade their fucking horses. The reason I want the horses is because if we can manage to buy a horseman, that would help us out immensely as far as getting that air score. I think it would kind of put us right where we need to be. So speaking of that air score and right where we need to be, this harbor should do it. In a perfect world, I don't want to have to chop anything over here if I can avoid it, but I mean, if I have to, I have to. Now, with that being said, so switching to production didn't shave any turns off. Unfortunately, they are still lined up 7 turns and 7 turns. So in case you don't know, that does not line up in our favor. We need to have this produced before that age starts. So if you ever have it lining up like this and you think that it's going to be okay, it's not. You're not going to get your heroic age. You're going to get fucked. So you have to get this down to 6 at the very least, which is not a problem. I mean, we're just going to take one tile here and we'll chop it. So that's fine. We're already over here with the builder. We'll build that mine and then we'll just head over here and chop. And we might as well, sorry, I'm just thinking here, just one second. We might as well chop one of these tiles here. I don't want to chop this one because it's going to impact our holy site there. However, I'm thinking about where I would ideally, if I was going to play this longer, I would want to get an industrial zone for the power. And I would probably want to do it here. So let's see. Because now you get... or wait, is that right? Yeah, because now you get +2 adjacency bonuses to industrial zones for dams, for aqueducts, and for canals. So obviously a canal isn't in store for us here, but what we can do is plan to build an aqueduct and a dam here. So that is what we would go and do. Oh wait, we could do it there. Yeah. So sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So this is what we'll do. We would put a dam here, and we would put an aqueduct here. And our industrial zone here. And so that industrial zone will get +2 from that, +2 from that. And then once we built another mine here on this tile, just so we don't forget, I'll go ahead and put it there, just in case I wasn't thinking and built something else. So there you go. So our industrial zone here would get +2, +4, +5 for this, and then half of an adjacency bonus for the city, which wouldn't do anything until it had another district beside it. But I think at that point what I would do is later on in the game I would sacrifice this tile here, and that's where I would drop our commercial hub as the city here. I know we're already building a harbor and it doesn't allow you to build another trade route, but it does allow you to increase your money, which you definitely need when you're doing domination. You need to be able to pay for your army. As you could see there, for a while our income was kind of hamstringing us. But anywho, that is kind of how I would set that up there. In the meantime, now that Barbarian's taken care of, we'll just put our archer to sleep inside the city and stay on alert. So we built that mine, and now we're going to head straight to this tile here, and we'll chop it out, which will allow us to produce our harbor in time and get us our heroic age. In the meantime, Yeah, that's fine the way it is. So we'll go ahead and build another mine there and use that builder's last charge. This builder will just keep going on its merry way. Nice. So we discovered the last civilization here, and oh, there you go. We've secured ourselves our holy age. I know she gave us 1 point, but I didn't quite see it. Where did we get our other score from there? Oh, there you go. We get the extra 3 air score because we get the 1 air score for meeting Cleopatra, but then it gave us an extra 2 because she was the last civilization in our map. So it put us at 30, from 27 to 30. So there you go. We don't even have to worry about chopping this tile. However, we will do it. It's not going to hurt us anyways. It's going to help the capital get to 5 population and sets us up for a nice district there eventually. And in the meantime, in 1 more turns, we can go ahead and lay down the government plaza here in our second city. We'll keep exploring. Meanwhile, we'll drop our last city. Now, it's kind of a shame we didn't get to end up using that isolationism policy card that I mentioned. It really would have helped us out, but unfortunately, I kind of fucked that up by leaving the barbarians around there. So, I mean, it wasn't the smoothest sailing, but we did end up getting there. But one thing I do want to ask, if you are enjoying this video, it would mean a lot to me if you take a quick second to throw a like on the video, or even better yet, leave a comment down below too. It doesn't matter if you have a question for me or you just want to call me a dumbass. I don't care. It helps the channel get discovered, and when you're as small as I am, that really goes a long way. So if you would take a second to do that, I'd definitely appreciate it. But anywho, we'll keep going here, and we're going to choose the production in our new city. And while normally I would place their district right away for the same reasons we already talked about, what I'm actually going to do is start them on a granary. I want them to grow as quickly as possible. So they want to buy our horses. Sure, I don't need them anymore. I already got my golden age. We'll switch open borders and try and get her to pay us more gold here. And she won't. So we'll sell our open borders after the fact. That's fine. I don't need our horses for the moment. Now, where are we getting fucking horses from? That's driving me nuts, because I didn't see any horses. Did we settle on a horse? From bonus resources. Oh, is it from a city-state bonus, Hattusa? Ah, there you go. Yeah, provides you with 2 of each strategic resource per turn that you have revealed but not improved. All right, mystery solved. I was wondering. I was like, what the hell? I was pretty sure I didn't have that there. Anyways, we have 57 gold. We might be able to purchase. Oh no, unfortunately, we're not able to afford that tile yet to get them started on their campus, which is kind of a pain in the ass. So we'll just go ahead and start on a granary here so we can increase their housing as well. Now, actually, speaking of that money, let's just get rid of some of our diplomatic favor. That should do the trick here. We'll make a deal with her, and you do 10 for this before. I'm sure she will again, yes. And then let's see how much money she'll give us for the extra 8. She'll do 100. All right, so see, you can see right away for 8, she would do 10 diplomatic favor for her luxury resource, and then 150. Let's try 130, 110. All right, so maybe 100 was the max. Let's try 105. I know, I'm a cheap bastard. Leave me alone. Okay, so 103 and 104. There you go. Nickel and dime them. I'm telling you, it adds up throughout the course of a game. Anyway, so for 8 of the diplomatic favor, she's going to give us 104 gold. So I mean, that's great. Why would I want to sit there with 8 diplomatic favor and have absolutely nothing to do with it, or have 104 gold, which I can turn into other things that can help us out. Speaking of which, now we can actually go ahead here and purchase this tile for 75 bucks, and now we can lock in the production of their campus and get them started on that right away. And now, what I am going to do though, so that's a +2 production campus. Oh wait, no, that wouldn't help. Or yeah, it would. So that's a +2 production campus. However, if we build this holy site here, if we were any other nation, it wouldn't matter. It would still be a +2 campus. However, it'll be a +3 campus if we build this holy site here, because we are Indonesia and we have that adjacency bonus, the minor adjacency bonus, for the tiles, or for it being next to the shore or a lake. So essentially what that means is it basically counts as another fuck, as another jungle tile, as in, like, if you have 2 jungle tiles, you get an extra point of production. It counts that the same way, so it counts as an adjacency as if we had another district beside it. So technically, even though it will only have the holy site beside it, because of that bonus from the shore, it will count as if we had 2 districts there. So that will be one total, it'll be 1 extra adjacency bonus, and that way it will end up being a +3 campus once we build this holy site here. I think, anyways. Don't quote me on that one, because it might already be getting it. It might get +1 per tile, and it. So hold on. Let's take a quick look here. Oops. Oh, never mind. I'm wrong. See, so it's already getting that bonus. It's per tile, so it's going to get 1 here and 1 here, so that's 1 adjacency, and then the 2 rainforests are another adjacency. So if we produce this holy site here, it's not going to do anything at all, because it would still be 1 district short. I mean, if we were to somehow get another district here, then it would work out. But never mind, because I was basically saying that because in 2 turns we'll be at 4 population, and had I been right, I would build this holy site first, so that way this would become a +3 campus before it was completed, and we would get an extra 3 era score for making a really good campus in the next stage. Though obviously we don't want to get any more here. Speaking of which, because we don't want to get any more era score, we are just going to tell our builder to go to sleep, because we wouldn't want to save all that extra era score for the next age, because you get points for, like, discovering natural wonders, for circumnavigating the globe. That's 5 points, so you don't want to waste those. So you just tell him to wait, and in 3 more turns we would continue on, had we been actually playing this for real. In the meantime, what we're going to do, since we have all of our era score and everything online, I think it just makes sense for us to move towards increasing our production. So we're going to head towards apprenticeship, and then I would be going towards square rigging, because, as I said, we were playing this one as a naval game. We're just about to head into an age where we're going to be allowed to build builders and stuff with faith, which will help us. But in the meantime, before we do that, what I would be doing is purchasing a quadrime here with faith. However, I'm not entirely sure. I think you do get an era score for building it. I'm not 100% positive. So either way, I would wait until the next era to do that, just in case. I mean, the extra 2 or 3 turns isn't going to make or break you in the long run as far as getting that unit out sooner to get experience. But oh, do we not have bronze working? We don't have bronze working. Shit. So never mind. Scratch that. We're going to go get bronze working first. We would get bronze working first so that we can clear jungle tile, and then head towards apprenticeship, and then cartography and square rigging. So it's a good thing, in other words, that we did get that bonus from meeting Cleopatra, because I would have fucked that up and completely not had time to actually research bronze working in time. As you can see, I just noticed it now, and there's still 3 turns. So that would have been very unfortunate for us had it worked out that way. Alright, so now we can build a kampung, because we have the technology to, and it's a great improvement. However, we're not going to build it because it'll give us 4 era scores, so we'd obviously just wait until we get the new era before going ahead and placing that. Now we have managed to become 4 population, so we're going to get them to start work on the government plaza immediately. And now this city has built up. We've got the production on a roll. So what we're going to do is go ahead and transfer this to another city to help them get up and running. I think probably to this one, actually. We'll send it. And now, in the meantime, once we get this Kampong online, we are going to head right over here, because this is where I would put this city's holy site. But first, we'd obviously chop the forest down before placing it. So again, this builder can't really do anything for us, unfortunately. Yes, nobody cares, Cyrus. But there you go. We've entered the medieval era, and we've secured our heroic age. And it worked out perfectly, because now we get this +3 era score, and as you can see, it's in the next era, so it wouldn't have helped us trying to get this heroic age had we not already secured it from meeting Cleopatra. We would have been fucked, like I said. But anyway, now that we've reached it here, this is the goal that we were going for. However, before I end the video, I'm going to quickly just go through the dedications, as you know, because if you're still watching by this point, you're obviously watching because you want to learn. And I mean, if I can help in any way and teach you something about picking your dedications here, then all the better. I mean, we've come this far, why not finish off, right? So we've gotten our heroic age, so let's take a quick look here. Cyrus got a golden age as well, and the Egyptians, Chinese, and the Dutch are in normal ages, and Scythia, I always screw that up. Tomris of the Scythians is in a dark age, so that's good to know. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with the channel. We'll continue to the different dedications here. So now that because we got a heroic era, first things first, we get to make 3 dedications, not just 1. So taking a look through here, we have free inquiry, which Eureka's provide an additional 10% of technology costs. Commercial hub and harbor districts, gold adjacency bonuses provide science as well. That is definitely a nice bonus, especially as we have our harbor online now, and we are going to be working our way to, or we would be working our way towards getting currency and getting commercial hubs. Holy, that took me too long to think about. Getting commercial hubs up and running, so that would definitely help out our science. So we definitely would go ahead and pick that one. Same thing with pen, brush, and voice here. So inspirations provide an additional 10% of civics cost, which is a nice little bonus. Plus each city receives +1 culture for each specialty district, which can add up very quickly. I don't know, you can't really see it here, I guess, because it's probably blacked out too much, but we're getting +10 culture per turn, so not very much at the moment, so that would add up if you think about it. We have 5 cities now, which all have a district online, or will have another one very shortly, so that's almost a 50% increase, not to mention a couple of them are working on their second as well, so that definitely adds up quickly. Now, there isn't even a choice, to be completely honest, between Monumentality and Exodus of the Evangelist. Like, even if we were a religion, I'd be taking the Monumentality route, just because it is such a powerful card, especially when we do have the faith. So even say, hypothetically, we did get that religion, like way back, and we didn't miss out because of the barbarians and all that, I would still, by far, like far, not even close, not even close at all, I would take Monumentality. The extra 2 movements for all builders and the ability to purchase civilian units with faith, so that's your traders, your builders, and your settlers as well, is unrivaled. I mean, Exodus of the Evangelist, you get extra 2 movement for your missionaries, apostles, and inquisitors, which is decent, don't get me wrong. Additionally, newly trained ones get +2 charges, +4 great profit points per turn. Now, this would be absolutely useless for us, realistically, because we are planning a naval domination game. Now, we have a shitload of faith, and even if we got that religion, we're going to be using our faith to either A, buy boats so we can go conquer the world, or B, we're going to be using it, any that we're not spending on our boats, we're going to be spending on builders so that we can improve our terrain, or settlers so we can quickly pop out and take over the other couple spots here that are around us on those small islands. We're not going to have any faith for apostles and missionaries and shit like that, even if we did have a religion. So I would definitely suggest all 3 of these for those reasons. Now, however, say this wasn't say this wasn't a heroic age, and if you were just doing this and could only choose one of them, if you only managed to get a golden age, if we hadn't hypothetically have had that dark age before, in that case, it would be a hard toss-up between monumentality, which is normally what I would go for, like hands down, because of the reasons we just talked about. However, we are going to get our navy up online, and that's going to take most of our faith. So I might consider going with the free inquiry or the pen, brush, and voice, so that we could get towards our technologies faster and unlock our ships. I might take the culture, actually, since it is our weakest point at the moment, and our unique frigate, instead of being unlocked at square rigging, which it normally is, it's actually unlocked in the civic tree. So I would probably take pen, brush, and voice for that reason, seeing as how literally normally you can get a lot more value out of monumentality, but realistically we only have 1 and 2 spots left that we're going to be settling, and the rest are going to be conquering. I mean, we do have that island up there that we might be able to fit a couple of cities on if we really wanted to, but considering we are going domination, we're not really about expanding on our own at this point. We're more interested in conquering other cities. So I might get this city up online and this one here, but any other cities than that, we would just be conquering them. I wouldn't be wasting the faith that way. So now there you go. I've rambled enough. Just out of curiosity here, let's quickly buy this quadrime with faith and see if we did get air score. And no, we didn't. So I could have got these ships. Last turn, or not last turn, but a couple turns ago, and it would have been a-okay. But we'll go ahead and do that now. And that's where we're going to leave this. So again, if you have enjoyed this video at all, if you haven't already, I'd appreciate it if you do me a favor and leave a like on it, or better yet, a comment down below. It goes a long way, like I said, to helping me get exposed as a small channel. That is really great shit. But anywho, I'll shut up now and see you in the next video.